G'day ladies and gents, and welcome to Cold Waters with Mags. So, in our last video we were intercepted by a couple of Alpha class submarines that were trying to delay us from actually making it to our target, which was a number of Soviet submarines that had been detected in the region. Unfortunately, they were successful and we did miss the target, so we've had our first campaign loss of, well, first mission loss of this campaign. I'm going to go to ultra quiet here, because we can't quite detect this submarine. See if that helps. Yeah, so we've been issued a new mission. A number of Chinese diesel submarines have been detected attempting to infiltrate the Philippines and deliver troops. So we've got to try and find these submarines and take them out. Now, I've managed to detect Sierra 1. I've been dicking around in this mission for about 10 minutes at this point. Oh, hello. There you are. I've been dicking around in this mission for about 10 minutes trying to get a location on these guys. They are very quiet, so I suspect probably a kilo. Yeah, I reckon it's a kilo. I'm going to mark this one as a kilo rather than a kilo improved, because that's what it was in the last mission. It wasn't, the last time I encountered these, they weren't improved models. And we have a Sierra 2. Alright, so the kilo will be the escort, and I reckon Sierra 2 is going to be the target. And as a Ming, that would make sense. Alright, so the Ming's the mission target, the kilo's the escort. Negative 50, negative 50. We're in her baffles. I don't actually like the fact that the game's giving me this information at the moment, because we've only got a 33% solution. I shouldn't be able to know that just yet. But what we're going to do, since we do have that information, is head directly towards her. Just make sure we've got that right. There. And set course for 15, set speed rather, for 15 knots. To be that quiet, she's got to be at 10 or 5. So we should be able to close distance on her. So the kilo is going to be the escort, the Ming will be the mission target. Now I'm not... 33% solution, or actually less now on the kilo. Now we've accelerated, we've lost both targets. So... yeah, that Ming is going to be a hell of a lot closer to that kilo than is actually indicated at this point in time. They're going to be very close together. We're getting very low signatures here. If 15 knots is enough to blind us to them, yeah, they're going to be right on top of one another. So what I'm going to do is we'll get our torpedoes set up, yeah, because we don't have a signature, we don't know exactly what depth they're at. We'll set up some torpedoes. We only need 2. And then I reckon we're going to do a little bit of time acceleration and just close the gap on these 2, because this is going to take about 10 minutes for us to sneak up quietly behind this kilo. And I don't want to go any faster than 15 knots, because even in the baffles, 15 knots with this much noise, even if she turns, she won't necessarily hear us. But if I go 20 knots, she might. Right. Nearly close enough. Let it go for a little bit longer. Wait for the noise to die down as we decelerate down to 5 knots, and hopefully these targets will pop back up. Eight knots. When we're quiet in the water, we should be detecting these guys anytime soon now. There it is. Still negative 50, negative 50, so we're still in the baffle, so she didn't hear us approach. No contact on the Ming. I was sort of hoping the Ming would pop up. Kilo is slightly deeper than we are, but not by a hell of a lot. Alright. So I'm going to launch one torpedo here. Should I salvo 2? No, we don't know good enough. We don't have good enough contact on the Ming. So we're going to send one out here to the side. Let it cut some distance away from the Seawolf and then turn it towards the Kilo. It should still be in the baffles. The AI in cold waters, even a torpedo in the baffles, it will detect once it gets to close range, even if they're not pinging. So it's still important to keep your torpedoes off-center, to hook them into the target rather than go directly towards it. Shh, we lost the wire. Alright, that's a problem, because I had the sonar activated on that when I fired it. I shouldn't have done that. So I'll launch this torpedo straight forward. That might give us away. What's going to happen now is, since that torpedo is wireless, I can't disable its sonar and I cannot turn it towards the target. So it's a useless torpedo, but once it goes active, it's going to start pinging, and Kilo is going to hear that, baffles or not. So it's going to know something's pinging it and it's going to react. So I need to get this second torpedo in as quickly as possible. There it is. Torpedo just went active. Kilo will start hearing the pings. The torpedo is of no risk to the Kilo, but it is going to let the Kilo know that we're here. It's going to let the Ming know that we're here as well.
Con, torpedo room, tube 5 ready.
And there's the ping. Interestingly, that came off center, so either the Kilo isn't really where we're detecting her at the moment, or that's the Ming pinging us. Shorten that up so the torpedo goes active sooner. Let's get this one ready. That's the Kilo pinging us. So the first pings were from the Ming. 2 has gone active.
Con, fire control, weapon acquired.
That's a really odd acquisition. It's flashing between acquired and scanning. I haven't seen that before. It's doing it everywhere. I wonder if that's been put in as... No. We've just jumped up to 95% and it's still doing it. I was thinking maybe that's the game's way of trying to tell me the torpedo has a poor solution, but it's got 95 and it's gone solid. Okay, maybe it was. I'm not sure, I haven't seen that. Normally it's either detected or not. Kilo. And that's the Kilo firing a torpedo. It's its only reaction. Countermeasures deployed. Oh, that torpedo got a hell of a lot closer. I think the latest patch made some changes to how the baffles work, because that torpedo got a hell of a lot closer than it normally does, firing from that kind of a range. And impact. Kilo eliminated, and we have a more solid signal on the Ming. Now that torpedo is not far enough. Yeah. So let's change direction here. That torpedo's too far away for us to be able to accelerate to its location. So let's set our depth down to 900 feet. And turn off center. Ballast full down. My normal trick of rushing at the torpedo and getting underneath its search cone won't work here. That torpedo is going to activate much sooner, and it's on a perfect depth, so it's going to detect us, so we need to get under it before its search cone gets to us. Now the Ming's giving away its location, so I will let it keep pinging for the moment. It's -50, -50, so we're still in its baffle, so it shouldn't be getting a return on those sonar pings that it's letting off at the moment, so it should be pinging into nothingness. Come on, 500 feet.
Passing 500 feet.
Torpedo's gone active. Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to rush that. This was the right call. We would have just presented ourselves a target. Torpedo is scanning. Nearly at 650 feet. Nearly at 700 feet.
Passing 700 feet.
And Ming doesn't appear to be doing anything. Ming's up near the surface. It's above the thermal layer. That's why we were having trouble detecting it before. It's only a weak duct. I can set ourselves to 1100 feet and then a little bit deeper just to ensure this torpedo won't detect us. And let's change our course to line up on the Ming. Yeah, that torpedo hasn't detected us. Okay, so we got underneath the torpedo search cone, so we don't need to worry about that one. Now what we're going to do is set a torpedo here, once we've straightened out and we're nice and level. I'm going to set a torpedo to run for the surface as if we were hunting for shipping. Yeah, straightening out now. Yeah, at that depth,
Con sonar lost contact.
Sure, reload there.
02. Last bearing 152. Contact faded.
it doesn't matter that we've lost it in the thermal layer, it doesn't matter at all. Set torpedo, we'll set it for the surface, and fire at the Ming's last location. Make sure the torpedo doesn't active until it's past the kilo, just make sure it doesn't detect the wreck. Away. Alright, so when this torpedo goes active, it's going to rush up to the surface like it's looking for shipping, but with the Ming hanging around nearly at periscope depth, it will detect it. It will be inside of the search cone.
Torpedo room 22
The
ready.
Ming, however, should not detect the torpedo through its own thermal layer that it's hiding in until the torpedo is inside of the thermal layer, even if it turns around. So at the moment we should have the boat still by the baffles, but if it makes a turn it's not going to see this shot coming. We'll just maintain depth. There's no reason for us to go anywhere at the moment, and the torpedo will reacquire the Ming rather than us going and searching for it. Active sonar. And if we adjust it to there, I'll get the torpedo a little bit closer, and it should detect the Ming as the torpedo is surfacing. So yeah, when the torpedo hits that point, it's going to pull up by like 45 degrees and head for the surface, which puts the search cone pointing upwards. So it should detect the Ming from below, and as it's heading for the surface, adjust itself to head straight in on target. So the torpedo will be already acquired and coming in from below the thermal layer. Yards from activation point. Time on torpedo, 8 minutes and 30 seconds. More than enough range. Yards to activation point. 7 kiloyards from the ship. Firing at an activation point of 9 kiloyards, and it's got surface by 1100 feet to apply the target. 1 kiloyard activation point, 7.5 minutes left on the torpedo. A little bit better than 7.5 minutes. is active and pinging. Should be being already. Torpedoes acquired, and it's crossing the thermal layer. It's got a solid lock on target. Counterfire from the Ming. Not that it's going to matter. I am 1,000 feet away from where it thinks I am. Evasive maneuvers. Looks aggressive. 2 torpedoes out. Reacquired. At that depth of the cavitation, there's no way it's going to lose my torpedo. Sorry, no special forces for you today. Ming eliminated. Mission complete. So as expected, the Ming was our target, and it and its escort have been eliminated. But more than that, we also received the Distinguished Service Medal. I'm getting a fair old collection of medals at this point in time. And we also got a news article update. 600 feet under, the Pentagon today revealed that several Chinese submarines attempted an incursion near Subic Bay, the Philippines, and were either destroyed or driven off by coordinated efforts of US surface vessels, submarines, and aircraft. I don't recall any surface vessels or aircraft involved in this. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching. As always, remember to check the video description down below for links to my social media and to my Twitch, as well as my Patreon for those who would like to support the channel. I will have more Cold Waters on the channel for you very soon, and I will be bringing it to Twitch as well. In fact, I think I'm going to play some of the new Russian submarines that were added in the latest patch on Twitch very soon. Anyways, ladies and gents, until next time, remember to click that like button, share and subscribe if you would like to see more, and as always, take care.